Greetings and salutations. It's a beautiful and rainy, snowy Friday afternoon here in beautiful Western New York. Yeah, it's springtime, April 7th, but yet it snowed last night, so go figure. So I wanted to make an introduction video today. So it's a little bit before I have to go to work. I've had some coffee, drowning myself in it and whatnot, but it's what I do. At any rate, I realized that I've posted a whole bunch of videos on the internet, dance videos primarily, and never really talked too much. And then recently, there was the information dropped about StarCraft Remaster, and I made a little reaction story video that I'd like to remake at some point and actually cover some of the topics that I was intending to originally, but got sort of sidetracked from. And I thought it would be useful to have an introduction for myself as to who I am and give maybe some background information pertaining to why anybody would even be interested in listening to me talk about video games, which is something that I'd like to start a series on, is discussing various games in general, but specifically and primarily focusing on StarCraft Brood War, that is, and then with the upcoming, hopefully good remastered that's on the way and everything like that. So here I am, not wanting exactly to go to work, but hey, work is good. Keeps a guy busy, keeps idle hands away from the keyboards and mouse and whatnot, and causing havoc, I suppose, in the greater scheme of things. So yeah, so my name is Chris. That's my real name, but the moniker that I've typically gone by in the past has been Blue Boy. In case you couldn't tell, I kind of do like the color blue. There may be a few things around my apartment that are blue. So that's based on a character from sort of like a rom-com chick flick-ish movie that I was a fan of, Playing by Heart. And the character, Ryan Philippe, is referred to as Blue Boy in that movie with Angelina Jolie and a great cast of other actors and actresses and whatnot. So the reference there kind of stuck, and I took that name and kind of ran with it and ended up using that as my college day radio station name, where I was known as Blue Boy, the techno guy that would play techno music at a place that would not typically have techno played out here in Western New York. So I believe my original mic up response was something in the range of, "You're listening to 90.7 The Music FM, WGCC in Batavia, New York." Yeah, and I would just go on and on and on with silly radio station voice and whatnot and add personality to everything, which typically at that point was Jolt Cola and lots and lots and lots of sugar. So not exactly healthy. My dentist thankfully saved me and suggested that I try to switch over to something like coffee, which is what's in this beautiful little mug. At any rate, years go by, and well, not too many years, because around the same time that I was playing radio station DJ guy, I also was playing in the local community college's Macintosh computer lab and playing copious amounts of StarCraft with the new friends and whatnot that I had made around the tender age of 18, as well as the teacher there, Pam, hi, who I became friends with and realized that, hey, we're all playing StarCraft. I want to play StarCraft too, yay! Yeah. So many years of my life have gone into gaming in general. Starting from the Odyssey 2 system, I'm old, I'm 33, to Nintendo Entertainment System, all the way up through Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and so on and so forth, until I found myself into the PlayStation era, which was also coincidingly the time that I found StarCraft and other computer games around that time. I think I had a Pentium 1 100 megahertz computer as my first computer for $100. Ooh, it was like a lot of saving up to get that first computer, I promise you that. And gaming in general from that point on kind of like took over my free time, we'll say. Well, the time that I chose to allot to such activities. So yeah, so my current moniker that I would go by, instead of Blue Boy, and instead of just being another Chris, as it's a fairly common name, was while I was playing StarCraft, there were a bunch of custom maps. And in these custom maps, they would, because of the nature of the map editor for StarCraft Brood War, as well as I'm assuming StarCraft Original, although I didn't play around in the map editor until Brood War was already out, the one custom map that really stuck with me was Lurker Defense. So the Lurker unit is a unit that you may or may not be familiar with if you've never played StarCraft, but it's just a unit that you can build in the game that shoots out an underground spine attack, so you could like put them underground and have them as a trap for enemy units that were to come by. So somebody went and made a very early version of what the common term nowadays would be tower defense maps, where you're defending from the incoming hordes and invasion forces and whatnot, and this Lurker was a unit that you could use to defend. And so there was a Lurker defense map, and whoever made this map ended up renaming a couple of the units and things in the game, and one of the renamings that they did was that they added a beacon to select a certain unit so that you could build a Lurker. And if you would bring another unit over to this beacon, a map trigger would happen, and you would spawn out some Lurkers or some Hydralisks. And so my moniker that I've picked from that was Hybralisk. So somebody had made a misspelling of Hydralisk and turned it into Hybralisk. So it's a really long, goofy, silly explanation of a really nerdy meta in-game sort of joke reference that absolutely nobody gets or understands, and still kind of like ponders and scratches their head when I try to explain it. So, you know, maybe someday in the future I'll end up making a video where I show this map off and show like an example of what I'm talking about, but perhaps some of you have played StarCraft, you know, like, yeah, I'm a fan. Yay, Lings. Key, 6 ling pool rush, yay. At any rate, so that's about all I had to say about an introduction. As you can tell, I'm caffeinated and silly, and I'm going to run off to work shortly here. Not that I actually might have to run because I haven't made lunch yet, so I'm going to go make myself some lunch. So thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.